Hello, bonjour, buenos dias, namaste, hajime mashite, ni hao, assalamu alaikum, everybody out there on the internet. Welcome to Channel Tekken for July 2017, where I'm going to talk about videos I'm working on, changes to the channel, or change the stuff on the channel and other stuff, and then rambling about stuff and other stuff. So yeah, videos I'm working on. So I got a list here this week or this month. So because I'm trying to get everything together before I make a break for it and take a break from the channel. So I have like a list. Well, you can't see it. It's on my screen here in a Word file. Essentially, Zoned 2, working on that because I put up a bit of a stream. I was playing it that day. I was playing on normal. I think the first time I played it, it was on easy, and then like I played it on normal, and I was like, wow, this is like way more difficult on normal. Like the step up from normal to easy. It's like, wow. So I was like, F that crap, I'm just gonna play through on easy because I ain't got time for that. And I just wanna have a nice enjoyable playthrough. So yeah, like okay, so basically like the list is like, okay, we got Zoned 2, Beyond Good and Evil, because I'm pumped for the second one. Evil Within, so number 3. Number 4 is God of War Saga. And I gotta say, I finally opened up my copy, and then there's a download code in there. Yeah, you can go ahead and like have that code because it's completely useless now, because it had what is this? Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta. So it's like the download voucher, because I thought it was on disc. I thought it was like on all discs because it was like a 3-disc collection. I was like, oh, 3 games, or like 5 games and 3 discs. That's pretty cool. No, it's effing like 3 games on a disc, and then like 2 games are download codes, and the code's expired, so it's like I can't even download these. Useless, effing useless. However, that being said, like the saving grace is there's this mid-year sale on the PSN store, and like it's one of the games that's discounted. I checked on the PS3 section, so it's like $3 or something, which is like super cheap. So I was like, F yeah, I'm gonna just like pick it up. And then I think actually like the trilogy itself is like super cheap, so I'm just gonna like buy them all digitally anyway, which is just funny and ironic because I ordered that like such a long time ago, and I never opened it, and I finally opened it, and it's like, oh, the digital version's effing super cheap, so I could just like not even open it, but whatever. It's whatever. It's like just another reason to go all digital. Is like just that whole thing I went through. It's like if you just wait long enough, it just drops in price. You can just buy it for super cheap, download it, it's fine. But yeah, that was 4, right? So we got Zoned 2, Beyond Good and Evil, Evil Within, because I'm pumped for Evil Within 2. God of War Saga, because new God of War looks pretty awesome, and I don't know if I said this on my video a while back. I think I said it on Twitter, but like it's one of my secret gamer shames. I never played. I mean, I've played them, but I haven't finished. Like I've only played like the first one. So I played it. I got somewhere. I got stuck, and then I never like finished the God of War. So I haven't like played through any of them because I want to play them in order and like have the whole story. So it's like I got to go back now and play all of them to get to like wrap that up, and then be ready for the next one. And then Ni no Kuni is on there because Ni no Kuni 2, looking forward to that. Oh yeah. And then number 6 is Witcher, because I want to play through Witcher 1, 2, and 3. And then that's it as far as like when I'm doing playthroughs on the channel for like here on in, for like from like now until the end of next month. That's like that's like a dream list of like, I'll get it done, maybe, probably not, but we'll see, whatever, I'll try. So I'll be playing those mostly, and when I have time in like the A game slot, or the B game slot, or whatever, whenever. When I'm not playing that, I'll be playing Destiny. I played that yesterday. I mean, our raid team no longer raids, whatever, because everybody's like, Destiny 2. No thanks. Marvel Heroes, I kind of fell off on that. I don't know. I'll play it every now and then. It's just a like easy game to play when like I need to, when I'm like either tired because it's not super involved as far as like focus, so it's nice to just like relax and play that. Tekken 7, the treasure battle is nice, just to like keep getting stuff to like keep customizing your characters. I like really like that aspect of the game. I want to jump into rank play and player matches online, but I just haven't had the time to practice, and I don't want to like just jump in and get destroyed by pros. So if that crap. Mass Effect Apex missions every Thursday when there's a new one. If there's not a new one, I'm not going to bother making a video because that happened this week. There wasn't a new one. I did play some, or I went on the store and got the whatever new thing they added to the store that week, and I didn't bother making a video about it 'cause it's like whatever. There's no missions. There's nothing to report. Hand of Fate. I was playing that on stream. I got stuck on the final boss, and it's just like So if I ever want to like jump in that and get destroyed and just hit my head against a wall and try to finish it, there's that. Walking Dead Season 3, The New Frontier, because I played it on PC and I want to play it on PS4 and basically not do like a reverse choice playthrough, but do like reverse choices in some situations, but then in other situations do different things to see how stuff plays out differently. Because like the part at the end with the doctor I want to do differently for sure. And then the part, like initially there's a part, I think at the end of episode 3, where you can like shoot someone or not shoot someone. Initially I was going to shoot them, but then I was like, but when Telltale put out like the trailer for the next episode, it showed like 80% or like a very high percentage of people shot the dude, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't shoot the dude. Then something happened later on, and that character like still died, but then I saw that like I could do something previous, like leading up to that, to possibly change that character's fate. So I want to see if I can like do something to make it so that character makes it all the way through, even though they don't, 'cause it seems like I don't know. I just want to see if I can make like how much of a difference that choice makes, since it did say like in the end when it had like all your characters and like the whole rap sheet of like what you've done and blah blah blah. Like I want to see like how that factors in. But yeah, there's just a bunch of like choices that cascade in that episode, as far as like, or that season. I mean, like you think it's just like a one-off thing, but then like all the one-off things like lead into like smaller things and just like ripples down. It's really cool what they did with season 3, even though I still say season 2 is like, I mean, it's like, by a hair, but it's just like, it's still good. It's like, it's just, and it's still like Walking Dead good. It's just like not as good as I would say season 2 or season 1, but it's up there. I mean, that's the thing with like Walking Dead. It's like, season 1 and season 2 are just like so good. Like barely any other game can like touch them, in my opinion. So it's, so for like, The New Frontier, not to like get sidetracked on what I'm talking about, to have like all these new characters and then like introduce this whole, Javi and his people plot. It's like, what? So it kind of worked, it kind of didn't, but let's move on. But yeah, so like those are like the main games and videos I'll be making on the channel, and then some side stuff if I ever have time. Wipeout Omega Collection, because I did play that a bit. Like the first day it was out, I streamed it a bit, so I might go back to that, play through the first one. Is like, or 2049, I think is like the one with like all the stuff, and then HD and Fury. But I mean, it was weird because it seemed like the Vita version looks better in my opinion, with the like all the graphical increases than the PS3 versions that I played a bit of, because I was like, wow, this looks really good. And then I just like wanted to play it, and like it looked amazing, and I hadn't played a Wipeout game in so long. I was like, yeah. Oh wow, I just got the store credit from PlayStation. Nice. So I can get some stuff. Yay. I think I'm going to pre-order the Horizon Zero Dawn expansion. That was, yeah. Anyway, that was something that just like popped up on the thing when I was looking at it on the PS4. So there's that, and then the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, because I was a Nintendo kid as a child, so I never got to play PlayStation stuff until I got a PS2, and I could play PS1 games because it's backward compatible. So there's like, that was like one of them. I mean, I did play some other PS1 stuff at like the friends' houses and stuff when I'd like go over there and like play, oh, this is cool, or like borrow it, 'cause like one of my friends let me borrow his PS1 once. That was cool. But yeah, it's like just, there's like so much there. That's one of them, Insane Trilogy, because I mean I did like on the PS1 Classic section, I think I bought like all of them. I didn't really like go back and play them. Like now the graphics are redone and enhanced and better, so every game it seems like they've done that with is like really either visually and gameplay wise, like, worth going back to just be like, wow, this looks great and it plays great, like Parappa. So I want to see if it's like the same thing with this one. And then Technomancer, because I bought that, and I think it was like been out a year, and I was like, man, I really want to play that, but then the reviews came in and I was like, very mediocre. Let me not waste my time. And that's pretty much it, because July there's nothing coming out. I mean, there's stuff coming out, but it's nothing I'm gonna like slot into like above anything on this list. And then I'm just waiting for the 2DS XL, because I've already it's funny, I was cleaning my apartment and I found a GameStop gift card I had that is not used. So I was like, what? I just showed the back of that, but you probably can't see it. I imagine that the like quality isn't good enough, so hopefully it's not good enough to see that, but whatever. So the GameStop gift card thing, that's like $125 now, because I think it's $150 new, so it's $125, which is like super cheap for handheld, and like, yeah. that's cool. So that's like the only thing I'm really looking forward to this month. Next month is Uncharted DLC, I think, but I'm I'm just like super focused on trying to like get all my stuff organized, blah blah, boxed up, sorted up, and like so I can if you like look behind me, the wow my finger. Oh my gosh, my hands. Well, I'm not used to like okay. Anyway, this thing over here, this like DVD rack that's been in previous videos is usually full, but I've like it's gone through all the stuff. I'm actually tying back into videos I'm working on. I was thinking of doing like a vlog series as far as cleaning my apartment, blah blah blah, but that seems like boring, so or just weird. I was gonna like record it with my phone, so it's like I could make some videos on my phone and then just do that. But I think I'm like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do because I was thinking of it today. I was like if I do videos like leading up to like when I leave or something, but I don't know. I think I'll just do like progress reports video as far as like where I'm at and then like trying to get it all done and just because it's a whole process and it's just like because I remember like when I moved in here I was just like dude I was so exhausted that I was just like I didn't like I never unpacked so so I had like a bunch of stuff that's just been like sitting in storage containers and boxes like literally the whole time I've like lived in this apartment, so it's pretty funny actually. I mean actually it's actually a good thing too because then it saved me some, I mean not a lot. It's like it's not a significant amount because I did end up like unpacking a bunch of crap, but like there's some stuff that's like I never went through it or whatever until just now, like the GameStop gift card thing. I mean that's probably like something recently. That's not something that's like super old, but yeah, there's like so much stuff I've like found that was like, wow, I didn't know I had that or I didn't know that was there, and it's like just super funny. Cause besides finding that, I mean it's not something that I did like when I first moved in. I don't think so. Yeah, because I like for some reason like I found my social security card in my Chrono Trigger DS case, and I was like, why is this in here? That was super weird. So yeah, as I've been like going through everything, it's like I keep finding all this stuff. I was like, wow, oh, or like this is interesting. So I kind of would like to make a video on my phone and be like, oh, I'm just making a vlog on my phone and like chronicle it, but or document it, but that just seems like too much. So I'll just do like some progress report thing or something. But then like also with my phone, speaking of it, like I have been doing like the Mass Effect Apex, that app. I've been using that a lot to get my mission funds in the game. So that's just the thing I wanted to talk about or mention real quick. But yeah, I'm like for sure gonna like do something about the whole moving thing as far as like making a video series or something. But yeah, that's the list of games as far as like videos I'm working on and what's coming to the channel. There's not really gonna be any changes to. Oh wait, actually. I mean, there's not really ever going to be like any drastic changes. I think the format I have is like, mostly streaming, some gameplay videos, some vlogs. Like that's pretty much the standard stuff I'm doing lately, and probably for like the long run. Unless things change, I will like mention it. But I did recently hook up my Elgato, not the new one, not the HD60, but like the old school HD capture one, so I can like capture older consoles like my Wii, which so I like ended up like digging out like my Wii stuff because I mean the Wii's, I don't know how old is the Wii, but I did like dig out some stuff to like hook up to it and play. Like the Wii was already there and I just wanted to play it. Okay, essentially what happened was like when they showed Metroid Prime 4, that logo, it just like my brain was like Metroid, and I was like, oh man, I want to play some Metroid. So one thing led to another, and then I hooked up my Wii, and then now I can play it. So I might throw out some retro videos every now and then. That being said, probably not because like I said last month, my goal is to be out of here by September because my passport expires in November. So worst case scenario is like I'm out of here by October or November, but my goal is September because then I know that I'm like not having to worry about my passport expiring, and then if my passport doesn't expire, I don't have to worry about renewing it. So then yeah. Oh, also if I didn't mention that last month, I'm totally trying to like move to Canada, so it's like not just like another state, because that's a whole can of worms. I don't want to talk about like the whole geopolitical existential crisis. So that's a whole video I'm not even going to bother with, because that was a whole thing, in effing, I think like November or December or time and taken. I was like, dude, I want to do like these other series of videos, but I was like, let's not broach that topic. That's just, I need another channel for that. I think I'd like that'd just be like, you know, kind of not tone deaf, but like very off base as far as like, you know, the content on my channel. And then like, oh, it's just, I mean, I did have like the whole video politics and video games thing for a bit, but then changed the name to it of like just talking about stuff. So that was like, you know, stuff like that was like always on my mind. I just never really talk about it, but then it's like, you know, now it's like, okay, that's, yeah, this is past the line of point of no return. So it's kind of, yeah, kind of out there. You see my Twitter feed, yeah, it's just, I can't help it. It's just like boiling over to darkest timeline. What was I talking about? Stuff on the channel. Changes the stuff on the channel. So yeah, no weird political videos, but I might start another channel. And Nintendo stuff. I think that's the other thing, is like, you know, I hadn't been doing video capture or videos from Nintendo specifically because they have that system in place where you have to partner with them, but like their in-user license agreement on that is like super terrible. But now I'm just like, you know, whatever. Like at first I was gonna make another channel, but I'm like, dude, it's not about the money. It's about the like, you know, just making the videos and stuff. So it's like, you know, don't worry about the fact that I'm not gonna get like monetization or any type of like ad revenue off of that crap. It's like, whatever, just like, those games are fun to play, and I've kind of like been depriving myself of playing them on my channel because of that stupid policy they have. So it's like, you know what, F it. They can just like claim all the videos, and I'll just like hopefully get some viewers and be like, that are like, oh hey, I like Nintendo games, and then, you know, they can enjoy the videos on my channel because I mean, I don't want to brag too much or, you know, be super arrogant, but I like to think I'm not super, or I'm pretty decent at Nintendo games. And I was like testing it the other day, and I was playing some Mario Kart, and man, I gotta say, I forgot how fun that game is. Just Mario Kart 64 is the best. Okay, it's not the best, but it's like, you know, in one of my top 5 lists. That's another thing. I mean, okay, that's not another thing, but it's like another thing I've been like thinking of doing is well, it's not that, okay. I kind of like I was brainstorming this idea, essentially, you know, having like because like when people ask me like what my favorite game is, I don't think of it in terms of like I have a favorite game. I think of it in terms of like I have a top 5. But then, like, you know, after I made my first top 5, which is like, you know, that's like the prime list of like the top 5, I started making like all these other like 5, like it's like, it's really weird. I was like making them in like 5 game chunks, as far as like, you know, this is my favorite 5 games. This is another favorite 5 games. Another favorite 5 games. So it's like trying to get like, I was trying to assemble a list of 10 of those because that would be 50. And so I had like this idea that, you know, I could do like my favorite 50 games, but that's like a whole other. That's like not happening anytime soon because that would take too long and like be a very involved project. That being said, totally gonna happen sometime in the future. Like, I'm not saying when, but it's on the list. So, you know, that's for sure happening sometime soon. And then like, even if I play through it on the channel, because I never like played through Red Dead already on my channel, but I'd play through it again because it's like, F that crap, that game's awesome. So, you know. Oh, and if you're wondering what my 5 games are, it's let's see, Super Mario Galaxy, because that game, oh, so good. Okay. Also, before I continue, I have like a rule on the 5 thing where it's like, you know, you only 1 game per series. So it's like you can't say Final Fantasy 7, 6, and 9, and 10. It's like, dude, yeah, choose one. You can only choose one. There can be only 1 from each series. Okay, somebody's got to die, because not everybody lives, and you have to choose who's the losers and who's the winner, because it can't just be like, oh, I like all the Microsoft games. They're all my favorite. It's like, dude. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, these are my rules. Okay, you can have your own rules for your like, oh, my favorite games, blah blah blah. But it's like, you know, to cut down on the amount of repeat entrants in the list from a series, can only choose 1. So it's like, yeah, because like for me, it's like, you know, it's so hard, dude. Like, because like originally 7 is like my jam. It's like Until I Die, that game is like still my favorite. But then like thinking about it, like the more I think about it, like as I've grown in age. Like 9 and 10, dude, those are like really those are just like 7, 9, and 10 to me are just like the trinity of like, oh, I can't choose. It's like it's so close because it's like 7 is just like like I like at the time I played it, like, you know, if you had to be there, where it's like the graphics were amazing, the story, the soundtrack, and I had never played a Final Fantasy. That's everything. That was my first Final Fantasy. So it's like, you know, all that stuff that is like in that series was super new to me, and I was just like, whoosh, like my brain was just like gushing out of my head and just melting through my nose and all my other head orifices, and it's just like, oh, and then it's like, you know, I played 9. I mean, that's everything. Like 8, I played 8, but I couldn't get through it because it's. I'm not gonna say it's tough. It's just it's very different compared to the other ones with the junction system and the drawing, blah blah blah. I'm currently playing 8 to finally try and beat that game, f that game. And then 9 is just so good. Like, okay, I'm not gonna get into this right now, but essentially, yeah, 7, 9, and 10, dude, effing those games, effing amazing. 12, I played it for like a bit. I was like, no thanks. And then 13, I got 13. Not to say it's a bad game. It's just, there's a lot going on there, and it kind of goes a bit too far, and then burp. It's like because people say, oh, it gets good like 30 hours in. It's like I disagree. I'm not in that school of thought. It's like I just thought you get to grand pulse, and it's like, oh, whatever. Let down, side quests not that great. Gear system not that great. Whatever. Let's not talk about 13. F that game. What was I talking about? I'm rambling about stuff now. I'm sorry. I was getting off topic about the top 10 thing or top 5 thing and top 50 thing and stuff. We've covered a lot of ground in this video. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything, so I only make one a month. So yeah. Nintendo stuff coming. Actually, I think, in celebration of that, I will play through Kirby's Adventure today. Because, RPG likes that game, so he'll be happy. But I know I can finish that game in, like, one sitting in, like, an evening or something. Because it's very enjoyable. It's super short. Not to say, like, not to knock the quality. It's super fun. That's everything. It's like you just play it, and then you're done. It's like, wow, that's amazing. So, Nintendo stuff coming. Oh, I forgot to talk about the VR thing. So I did end up getting, it was on sale on eBay for like $300. PlayStation VR, I got a headset. So I haven't had enough time to like play it extensively. I've only played a few things. I did stream it all though. So like whenever I do play it, I will be streaming it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. Definitely not worth 400 though. I'm glad I didn't pay 400 for it because I was saving up to like buy it anyway because there's okay, not to get onto like the whole geopolitical existential crisis thing again, but that's another reason is like like okay, let's continue with the games. Okay, so like at E3 they showed this game called Archangel, which is a mech game, and it's like a mech game, and they didn't show it at the conference. I was like, what? And they didn't show it like in the free show, and I was like, what? And it was like on the stage during the week when they were like presenting all these games. I was like, dude, what the F? Like, why didn't I show this game? So that game looked really good. It's a mech game. I was like, dude, I love mechs. I love me some mecha, some Gundam, some Evangelion, all that stuff. I love it. Pacific Rim. Oh, so good. So there's that. That seems to just like it would be super fun and awesome in VR. So I was like, dude, I can't I saw that and I was like, I want to play this and I want to get this and I'm like play it in VR. So that was just like, that just had me juiced. So there's that one. And then Persistence, which is a I just realized I didn't finish talking about my top 5 games today. I didn't finish the list. I'll get back to that. I'm sorry, this is what happens when I do these. I just like ramble and I'm just talking and it's just like and just sometimes I never finish my trains of thought because they turn into they turn into a rocket ship and blast off into space and I'm just like, woo! What was I talking about? I don't remember. Wow, I'm crazy. Anyway, the other game and this is why I had to have a podcast because I was like, dude, I gotta talk about this stuff. But yeah, Persistence, this game where you're space station crew. Well, you're not really. Well, you play as the crew, but the ship is like going somewhere. I can't remember. It's getting like pulled into a singularity or something. I don't remember. There's some scenario as far as like you're on the ship, you wake up, and then stuff's going down, and you gotta escape the ship. And then it's like a procedurally generated. So every time you wake up and you try to get out of the ship, it's a different route and a different setup and different enemies and different blah blah blah. But it's one of those basically where it's like you wake up and you're trying to escape, but then your route and the enemies and all your like weapons that you can find and use are completely randomly generated, so it's completely different every time, which is pretty cool. So in that respect, it's kind of like the it's kind of like it, but it's not, I think, 100% like it. It's like that Zombie U game that's on the Wii U or whatever, the Ubisoft zombie game. Because I don't think that game was procedural. I think it was the same. It's like a Soulsy. I never played it, but it's like, you had like you played one character at a time and you were trying to survive the zombie apocalypse, and then like each time you played, I can't remember if it was different or the same, but like when you died, you could go back to your corpse and get all your loot like a Souls game. But then there was a mode where you had like one life, so there was a one life mode in that game. But it's kind of like that if it was a one life mode. But then in the persistence thingy, it's not like the same character. It's like every time you wake up, you're a different person from the crew. But I don't think that affects your like abilities and stuff and what you can do. But I kind of don't remember 100%, so I could be wrong. But that game sounded pretty cool and interesting when I saw it, and I was like, "Yep, signing up for that." VR, I want to do this, and then the whole thing as far as like yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I'm just. Yeah, I was gonna talk about something stupid. Well, not stupid, but just let's move on back to my top 5 that I didn't finish. So we got Super Mario Galaxy, we got Red Dead Redemption, we got Chrono Trigger, we got Metroid Prime, and we got Resident Evil 4. Those are my top 5. If you've been wondering, like, what are my top 5 games? What are your top 5 games, Tegan? So that's the top 5. And so, yeah, basically the whole the whole thing with that is like, to me, Chrono Trigger is like the apex of JRPG, and then like, crap. Now I'm thinking, was Tactics Ogre on that list? Because maybe it was Tactics Ogre and not Resident Evil 4, but I could be wrong. I might have. No, I think Resident Evil 4 was on there because to have like 2 JRPGs is like one too many. Even though Tactics Ogre is like the best like SRPG, not as good as Resident Evil 4. Like Resident Evil 4, okay, like I'm like, I don't want to get like too esoteric on this, but like like Resident Evil 4, like to me is like, it was like the perfect blend of like action and horror, and then it just like, it's like perfect balance because you have action, horror thrill ride, and then it's like way more accessible. It's not super backtracky like the other ones, and manage inventory. Still, it's whatever. It was like, they hadn't completely eclipsed the shark that they were jumping when they got to Resident Evil 5, and it's like, this is way too much action. This is no longer scary. This isn't a survival horror game. I mean, I could see. I mean, if you think about it, though, it makes sense, because if it's a co-op game, which it is, and you have a co-op buddy or an AI buddy, then they have to like throw more enemies at you all the time to make it more, I guess, in a sense, challenging. But then, like, because there's more enemies, it's more actiony. Therefore, it loses the sense of scary horroriness. And there's no atmosphere, dude. Like, atmosphere in 4 way better than 5. Like, okay, not to get into like why 4 is better than 5, or like why 4 is the best, or yada yada yada. That means I'm not saying 4 is the best. I'm just saying, like, for like the money, or for my not for the money, but like in my opinion, like 2 and 4, and I mean that's the other thing. Like Resident Evil, like there's some of them I haven't finished. Like 1 is really hard. I haven't finished it. 3 I've never finished. I've played it a lot. Nemesis would always get me. But the odd number, the even numbered ones, 2, 4, and 6. I don't know what it is, and I haven't played 7. So, but I have VR now, so I'm probably gonna play it and like scare the crap out of myself. But yeah, I'm completely rambling now, and I'm just gonna end the video because I've talked about everything. I've talked about videos I'm working on, changing the channel and other stuff, but now I'm just rambling, and I need to like just end it here. Because who's okay, not to say nobody's gonna like watch this for 30 minutes, but that's a long video, and I try to like keep these short. I forgot, and I was like kind of just like going on and on and on about games, because I kind of do that when I'm talking about games, like I said earlier. But yeah, that's it for the video now. So it's just let's wrap it up here. Okay. Also, okay. So I think, like, to wrap this up, I'm just gonna put my VR headsets on for like a bit and just like move around my head, because JR was like, oh man, when you get it, totally just do that when you're trying to again, just do that. So I'm just gonna totally do that, and there like won't be any sound here for a bit, and I'll just like put it on for a bit and then take it off and then stop the video. And you can all laugh at me as I look so I guess like the funny thing, actually, when I think about the VR headset, is like nobody looks cool in one. So it's like, if you're using VR, you may think you're cool, but you totally don't look cool. You look weird. Well, you look whatever. Like, it's just, yeah. I mean, it's not. I guess it's subjective, but like, I don't look at people when they're like when they have them on, like, oh man, that looks so awesome. It looks goofy, but yeah. Now you can look at me being goofy in a VR headset. So we will end with that, and then I will stop the video. Okay, also, since I'm not gonna like be back on the mic after this, I'm just gonna say, so I can wrap this up before, like after I do this, is that, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends or not, that's cool too. And until you see me or hear from me again, after I do this VR bit, I'm gonna be signing off.